To the Batmobile. Let's go.
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
All right, thanks for joining us tonight. Basement Boy Reviews 4 and 5. We're going to wrap 2 movie reviews into 1 review. I didn't get a chance to see Tomorrowland yet. He hasn't got a chance to see San Andreas. But we happen to have 2 people who have seen those movies that we're going to have fill in for the one of us that hasn't seen the movies, if that makes any sort of sense. So first up, Tomorrowland. Sci-fi movie came out a couple weeks ago. George Clooney. Highly anticipated, hasn't really done very well in the box office, or as well as they were hoping. So I haven't seen that movie, but my nephew here, Albert, has. So he's gonna talk a little bit about it, and just what are your first thoughts on the movie, Brian?
I think the movie's good, but not designed for the audience that it looks like it's for, because like all the previews and stuff make it seem more like the Pirates of the Caribbean audience. More like, I mean, adults can watch it, but it's more kind of for like the not young kids, but you know what I mean, like
Tweeners.
Tween to little bit late teens, but not quite like 17, 18.
Right.
So I think it's right in that range. You know, that's what they wanted with the advertising and the this and the that. But then when you watch it, it seems like a Star Trek movie or something. Like the science fiction in it, it's cool.
It's really sci-fi?
It's really sci-fi. And like the plot, like the whole point of everything with Tomorrowland is actually a neat little concept, very similar to San Andreas, sort of like the direct idea behind it. But it's one of those things where it's not something that I think most of the audience it was trying to aim at would get behind. It seems more like our kind of movie, which I think is why it's not doing well.
As well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I haven't gotten to see it yet. You know, I mean, I wanted to, but there's been a lot of movies this summer, and it just wasn't like I wasn't jumping to see it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get an 8-year-old's perspective. What did you think? What was your impression of the movie after you saw it? What did you think?
It was kind of iffy, but I mean, I like the jetpacks.
So the jetpacks were your favorite part?
Yeah, because they were like cool.
So did you like when they were actually in Tomorrowland?
Yeah.
Like that part of it, when it was like when they're in that city?
Yeah.
And then
I mean the city was awesome.
Yeah, like visually looked really good. Okay. And then what else happened in the city that you liked besides like the jetpacks and stuff?
I like the like ray guns and stuff.
All the weapons and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Definitely.
They have some pretty neat like robot this or that's like it's not really a spoiler, but there's a point where like this big robot grabs this jetpack and it just like and fixes it. So it's like they do some cool sci-fi stuff, and there's a ton of like because at one point someone goes into like this sci-fi whatever store, like it's not like comic book stuff, it's like
a Sharper Image?
No, like a collectibles shop sort of.
okay.
Yeah, like where they hold the gun out.
Yeah. And they got like a Han Solo frozen in carbonite. They've got like a stormtrooper set of armor. Like there were so many Star Wars references in that store. It was crazy.
Well, with it being a Disney property, they can do it.
Oh, exactly. That's what we were like. We're like, this is like them basically saying, neat. We have Star Wars, like, because literally half the store was Star Wars stuff in that like movie. So it's like, which is probably realistic to those actual stores, but it's like it was just funny to see so much Star Wars stuff in it because they're just like rubbing it in your face, like we own Star
Jam
Wars.
it down your throat type of thing. So what was your? Let's start with Albert. What was your least favorite part of the movie? Was it? Did you fall asleep during the movie?
Yes, I fell asleep for like at least 10 minutes.
Yeah, because it got boring?
Yes.
Was it too much, like...
Well, like, nothing's boring about the movie. I mean, it's just kind of iffy.
It gets plot heavy in the middle.
Yeah.
It gets plot heavy.
Yeah? Like, is that, like, when are they still on, like, Earth and not in Tomorrowland?
I think it's a little bit before. There's a lot of talking. Like, not the middle, but, like, 20, 30 minutes in, you're just drowning in
It's
talking.
a lot of story and
Right,
plot
right,
stuff.
right. This or that, explaining what's sort of going on, and people discussing. I'm not gonna help you. I changed my mind. I'm gonna help you. You know, like that usual stuff.
Is that where you kind of got lost?
Yeah.
So did you, now coming from an 8-year-old, did you understand the movie, or were you kind of just more looking at it for like the visuals and like the cool parts as opposed to like understanding the story and like what was going on?
I didn't really get it at all. I don't get movies at all.
You get movies.
I
but
get some movies.
Yeah.
The plot was thick. I mean, even I'm sure there were adults walking out of that. And
You
were like,
understood
"Oh."
what happened in Avengers when we saw Avengers, You understood that. Them fighting Ultron and taking down the city.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
but yeah, you know what I mean?
I understand like fighting.
When
and
you
stuff.
saw Mad Max, you understood what was going on in Mad Max and stuff, right?
The story in Mad Max was kind of.
Yeah, it's not a story movie.
Right.
It's an action movie. We kind of, did that in the prior. So to wrap it up, out of 5 jetpacks, how many jetpacks would you give it? 1 out of 5, 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5
yeah.
jetpacks from nephew. All right, Brian.
I'd say if you're 18, 20 years old and you like sci-fi stuff, it's gonna be a 5 jetpacks movie. But if you're like not into sci-fi stuff or under that age,
Or like a family going.
right, it's gonna be like you said, 3, 2. It's got fun visuals, but other than that, the plot's too much
Convoluted. Like
Not
too muddy.
convoluted, but like they do a lot of theoretical physics talk for like their technology, and they don't go into crazy detail with it, but they like explain particles. Like this particle is what we're using, and then it makes this happen.
So
And
it's
like
just, it gets a little like wordy in parts and stuff like
right,
that.
it's not like they go into the big
explanation.
technical explanation, but it goes enough where you like it's like the tachyon particles are going to make this happen, and like that's why we can use these elevators. And it's like if you don't understand physics,
You
like
get lost quickly.
yeah, exactly.
Well, I
You
still
gotta
plan
like
on seeing it
sci-fi
at
stuff.
some point. Probably catch it on a matinee or something like that. But now Nephew's gonna get out of here. He's got some video games to go play. People to kill on Call of Duty. And we're gonna bring in our
Maybe.
second special guest for our San Andreas. So with the magic of editing, we're gonna get him out of here and get our second special guest in.
Okay, yay.
All right, now we're back for a second part of the review for the San Andreas part. So review number 5 in this dual review video we're doing. So we just did Tomorrowland with my nephew, and now we're going to be doing the San Andreas review with my girlfriend Kelsey, or better known as Snowflake.
Hi.
So Brian hasn't got a chance to see the San Andreas movie yet. We went and saw it last night. So we're going to do a little review. So just your first initial thoughts on the movie, Kels. Like, what did you think? What did you think going into it, and what did you think coming out of it?
Going into it, I thought it was just going to be a typical, like, blow lots of stuff up, everything's going to be destructed, not incredibly interesting, but it turned out to be a huge, like, emotional puller out of me. It gave me all the feels. You know that.
It did. Were a lot. It wasn't a very emotional movie. Like, there's a lot of times where you feel for the characters in that movie. Definitely.
Yeah, it kept you engaged that way, because I was pulling for the little British guys in the movie, and I wanted them to survive, and I wanted the Rock's family to live, so...
You wanted everyone to live.
I wanted everybody to live.
Sure. She doesn't like death in movies.
No.
But no, I thought the same thing. I mean, going in, I really didn't have like huge expectations. It wasn't Mad Max to me, or it wasn't Avengers. I wasn't going in like this is going to be the greatest thing ever. I was going in like it looks fun. It looked fun. That's my only, I think, pre-existing notion going in was it looked like a fun movie, and it delivered on that. I mean, the story was not phoned in, but it was kind of it was like paint by numbers story.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Well,
like
a lot of those world destruction movies, kind of tragic event. Stuff starts blowing up. Family's got to survive. Like it's a formula, like a lot of movies are, and you can either do the formula right or you can do it wrong.
See, and I think a lot of like some of them, the acting really falls short, so that's where they go wrong. But with this one, the acting was strong. I liked both The Rock's character, the actress who plays his wife, and the actress who plays his daughter. I thought all did very good with.
I was gonna say
their
it's his
portrayal of that.
daughter. Like she's a newer actress, and she was really good.
Yeah,
How old
I thought
is
so
she?
too.
Or approximate. I don't need.
I guess 20s, yeah.
Okay, so
Early
it's not
20s,
like
something
daughter,
like
like
that.
young daughter. It's
No,
like daughter,
no.
like
She's
about
like-
to start college daughter.
She's graduating, going to college.
Okay.
Yeah, she's going back to college. He was going to take
Yeah.
her back to college in the beginning of the movie before everything happens. But yeah, a lot of the CGI looked good. Some of it was a little iffy, but for the most part, it was on point. Yeah, the action was great. So what was your favorite scene in the movie, or your favorite part of the movie?
My favorite part of the movie. I don't know. All my favorite parts are like when people are like getting
In
terrified.
peril, when people are in peril.
Yeah.
And, like, something has to happen.
I think my favorite part of the movie, I don't know if it's a spoiler or not, but it's like the first scene. You see it in the previews when she's at the hotel and like she walks out the door and like everything's fallen when he's trying to like come pull her from the helicopter.
Yeah. Right when he saves his wife.
It's
in
like the
opening.
very first like earthquake rattle.
It's early on. It's like
Yeah.
the precursor to the big quake that happens. or
Because it
something
just like
that.
there's
Yeah.
so much adrenaline and like hype in that very part of the movie, and it just kind of gets you ready for all the rest. To
Good
come.
attention getter. Good.
Yeah,
guy.
I liked.
Yeah.
You know what I liked? One of my favorite parts was that opening rescue, where they rescued the right in the opening part, the girl's car's hanging on the side of the cliff.
Well, because you
And they
think
have to
she's gonna
cut
be like
in.
a main character, and she really has nothing to do with the movie. It just kind of like sets the scene for what The Rock does, and like,
For like who he is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's a hero. He's like
He's
saved
like a
like 600
firefighter,
people.
right?
Yeah, fire and rescue. So he flies the helicopter and he's rescued like 600 people in Afghanistan and doing the fire rescue type thing. So yeah, to see him like, and he's the perfect guy for this movie. I mean, he's an action star. He is our only really, I think, true action star anymore right now in Hollywood. There's not another guy I'd say is like Jason Momoa,
Yeah.
kinda, but a lot of them are getting there, but aren't that level. Like he's
They're
a
either too old or
full-blown-
too
right.
new.
He's a full blown action star, so he was perfect for the role. I thought some of the dialogue was a little
unnecessary.
Yeah, unnecessary would be a good word for it, but it wasn't overly cheesy. They did play like the whole family thing, and it was an overall good movie. I mean, out of 5 crumbling buildings, I'll give it 3.5 out of 5 crumbling buildings.
I would give it 4.5 crumbling buildings.
I like how we can't get solid numbers on crumbling buildings.
No,
No,
well,
'cause
have
it's
you ever seen
half the
buildings
building
fall?
is
Right,
still
half the
there.
buildings- yeah, exactly. So it worked perfectly for this.
I'm just
analogy.
saying it's 4 out of 5 just because it was a really good emotional movie. Like if it wasn't for that, like keeping me engaged with like, oh, please don't die.
It is a good date movie too. It's a good date movie to bring. Like we went as a couple. It's a good date. It's a good
Go
movie
like,
to bring your
no,
girlfriend.
don't
Yeah.
die.
It's got the action.
They're
but then
going
at
through all the
same-
feels, and you're like getting all pumped up from The Rock being awesome.
I was
and
getting
stuff
pumped
like
up.
That. So, no, I mean, definitely at times you were pumped up, but there were
I
other
can get
times when you were
pumped up.
going through all the feels.
You don't want to see her
So,
pumped up.
You definitely don't. That's
No.
She turns from
that's-
snowflake to snowball.
Oh, that's good.
from snowflake to blizzard.
It's like,
So
You know what I like just from the preview?
what?
That The Rock is like a fire guy. I mean, I went to school for fire stuff,
Right,
so
yeah.
like obviously I'm like, yeah. But I like, because I feel like you get a lot of cops or like, you know what I mean?
Special forces, army,
Right.
police. Yeah.
And other than firefighter movies, I feel like main
there's not
characters
like a
aren't
light
like
shed on firefighters.
right.
what they do.
Well,
And
Yeah.
rescue, yeah.
Well, and the rescue is a huge part of firefight. Like you have to take separate like courses and this
Training
or
and
that,
stuff for that,
to do
yeah.
all the rescue. And there's like different types of rescue that you have to take courses on and stuff. Like it's crazy. I actually had an instructor who when I went to Iraq for fire rescue stuff.
Wow.
So it's like there's
So that
like-
touches a spot. For
Right,
you.
right, which
So you're
I
definitely
really
gonna, you're
should-
definitely gonna
yeah,
see
I
this
really
movie.
need
I
to
mean,
see it.
it's worth seeing. I think both movies that we reviewed tonight are worth seeing. Maybe not the greatest movies of the
Right.
summer. Definitely at the end of the summer might be on my top 5. San Andreas might be on my top 5 at the end of summer because we'll do an end of summer wrap up review of all the movies and kind of go over which ones were the best, which ones were the worst. Maybe we'll bring in other people for what they liked in their top 5s. But so stay tuned for all that. But yeah, that's gonna wrap this Basement Boy reviews up. So with that being said, I'm getting the cue. We'll see you guys next time. If you like what you just saw, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and like our Facebook page.